opportunity for us to solve the energy problem. And I put that ahead of renewables, ahead of alternatives, ahead of conventional fossil fuels. Do more with less. And by the way, that doesn't mean the, well, the conventional viewpoint about conservation is sleep in the cold, work in the dark. I don't mean that whatsoever. This is simply having the same standard of living as we have today, but simply having more efficiency in the underlying conversion processes. I have 4 examples to touch briefly in the few minutes allotted for me this morning. One is half the energy in central station power plants goes up the stack as waste heat. Now, why is that? It's because you can't move heat economically. An alternative is to move the power generation from a central station to on-site locally in buildings, and then recapture and reuse the waste heat. On measurement, a central station power plant operates with a physical energy conversion of efficiency in the low 30%. If you do the power generation on-site, recapture and reuse the waste heat for other building uses like air conditioning, yes, heat can make cold in air conditioning. You can run the physical conversion efficiency from the low 30s to the high 70% capture, and that goes a long way toward removing or toward working away at that 91% of energy which is otherwise wasted. I think another one that is to me startling and transparent in its simplicity and its power. We waste energy by not recapturing it from vehicles and other accelerated objects when they're braked. You have to think about that for a second. Isaac Newton taught us that in the 17th century. The energy of deceleration is equal to and opposite to the energy of acceleration. Yet for more than a century of vehicles, we have never captured the energy of acceleration via the process of braking or deceleration. But there are some examples that work today. Otis elevators with regenerative drives. This is a very simple example. Recapture the energy on descent that went into the elevator on ascent. And the result of that is that we can run elevators today that use 75% less electric power than were used in comparable elevators measured in speed and load only a decade ago. Amazing. 4 times improvement in efficiency, and it's that basic principle of recapturing the energy of acceleration via the process of deceleration. And that is the laws of physics, just as naked as we can possibly get them. And it can be done. Of course, elevators are a relatively small energy user in the entire world. Vehicles are a much bigger one. And let's note the fact that we have never, until hybrids very recently, recaptured the energy of acceleration in cars. And the principal benefit of hybrids is not so much the gas-electric combination, it is the recapture of energy in the braking cycle. A third example is heat transfer instead of heat dissipation. Heat is everywhere in the world, and it goes everywhere in the world. We're doing a multi-year study with the World Business Council for Sustainable Development. A couple of statistics are revealing. First of all, buildings account for 40% of the world's total energy load. They're actually a larger component of energy load than our vehicles in the entire world. Within buildings, and here's one example, hot water heating uses a surprising 15% of the 40% energy consumption for buildings. And yet, again, this goes back to physics. We still do it the old way. Think about hot water heating in your house. We do it just the same way we did it thousands of years ago with a pot over a campfire. That is, we heat hot water conductively with the direct insertion of energy into the water. I want to borrow from air conditioning for a second. That means the physical conversion of that process is definitionally less than 1. That is, BTUs can become calories, and there's a physical conversion process, and definitionally it's less than 1 when you have the pot over the campfire because you have some energy that dissipates and goes somewhere else. Now, you can also transfer heat. Heat is everywhere in our world. You can also transfer heat, and you can concentrate it the same way you do with a heat pump, which some people have in residences and are a growing application. But you can do the same thing with hot water heating. Just take heat that's in the atmosphere, concentrate it, move it, and put it into the hot water with an energy conversion of efficiency of 3 to 4 times higher than you have with the direct insertion as we would have with the pot over the campfire. And that means that you can drop the energy consumption for hot water heating by 70%. That again is 15% of buildings, and buildings are 40% of the world. These are big numbers. In fact, hot water heating savings are potentially several percentage points of the total world energy demand. Fourth opportunity is electric power generation from geothermal. We build some products today that do that right now with geothermal energy as low as 165 degrees Fahrenheit. The U.S. Geological Survey says there's 10% of energy load in America can be met by geothermal applications with water at this temperature or higher. The point of all these examples is that energy conservation in significant amounts reflects the laws of physics. It's feasible today, good financial returns, products exist, products are coming, and there's great impact to drop this 91% of energy that is wasted. I think to close this maybe with an internal comment, conservation in a company like ours can be achieved both in our products, that is, I've spoken here about air conditioning, things like that, geothermal, elevators, but also inside our operations internally. And for the latter, that is operations, and since 1997, this company has reduced its gross energy load by 20% in absolute terms, while the company has grown to more than twice the size. That's an energy efficiency improvement of more than 50%. That is normalizing energy for volume.